This is my presentation for Europe for World Regional Geography. The importance of the European continent in being central to humanity's cultural, scientific, and artistic achievements cannot be overestimated. The European continent is a mosaic of small, medium-sized countries. Western Europe, Eastern Europe, Russia, and the British Isles constitute Europe. On the south shore, the European countries are the Mediterranean Sea. The eastern border of Europe is the Ural Mountains. The northern limit of Europe is the Arctic Ocean that is north of Scandinavia and Russia. On the western side of Europe is the Atlantic Ocean. Europe was navigable in the ancient times by rivers, lakes, and ocean shorelines. Much of Europe is peninsular and insular. The major peninsulas are the Iberian Peninsula, Spain and Portugal, the Italian Peninsula, the Balkan, the Greek peninsulas, and the Jutland Peninsula, which separates the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. The major islands of Europe are Ireland, Britain, Sicily, and southern Greece. The major rivers of Europe are the Thames, the Seine in France, the Rhine in Germany, the Danube, which flows to the Black Sea through Central Europe, and the Tiber River, which Rome was built. These rivers were the travel routes to help make Europe rich. The rivers of Europe were the lifeline of commerce and the development of Western civilization and wealth in Europe. In ancient times before trade took place, boating was essential, and navigation was the key for trade and communication. The fact that the rivers were so useful for transport helped make Western Europe rich. All the rivers in Europe went to the surrounding seas, especially in Western Europe, saw the big cities like London, Paris, Antwerp, Amsterdam developed in the river and sea ports. Russia was less prosperous than Western Europe because rivers flow to the Arctic Ocean, the Caspian Sea, or the Black Sea, much less useful for navigation. The Mediterranean Sea was the center of the Western culture in ancient times. It links southern Europe with Western Asia and Northern Africa. The major mountain range in Europe is the Alps. This separates Mediterranean Europe from Central, North-South Europe. This enabled the Mediterranean continent to be south of the Alps and make Mediterranean culture different from more northerly European culture. The Pyrenees Mountains separate Spain from France.
And this is the map of Europe, geographic map.
The Pyrenees Mountains separate Spain from France. The Alps extend to eastern Europe as the Carpathian Mountains separates Poland from the Czech Republic and Ukraine. The Gulf Stream, originating the Caribbean Sea of North America, washes the shores of westernmost Europe and keeps those countries much warmer than equally northern parts of North America, that is, northeastern Canada. Europe is the second smallest continent, with only Australia having a smaller land mass. The continent of Europe is capped by the Scandinavian countries where there are fjords where the ocean comes into the land. The Danish peninsula separates that part of the Atlantic Ocean to the North Sea on the west and the Baltic Sea on the east. Europe's northernmost point is the Svalbard archipelago of Norway, and it reaches the south of the islands of Greece and Malta. The link between these peninsulas has made Europe a dominant economic, social, and cultural force throughout recorded history. I was impressed by the map on page 103 in the textbook entitled Urbanization in Europe.
Okay, and this is the map of page 103.
I was impressed by the map on page 103 in the textbook entitled Urbanization in Europe. It shows the percentage of the country's population living in urban areas. The darker the color, the higher the percentage of the population living in urban areas. I was not surprised by the dark color of the Benelux countries because I knew it had high population, limited area of square miles. I was surprised by the dark color of Sweden and Finland. It must be because much of the population prefers to live on the southern coast and not the Arctic north. There is much land in these countries, but the population prefers to live in their comfortable southern cities. Europe-wide, I see that some countries have a very high percentage of urban population because so much of the land in these countries is not compatible with high-density populations. Europe can be divided into 5 major physical regions from north to south: Western uplands, Northern European plain, Central uplands, Alpine mountains, and the Mediterranean peninsulas. In summary, I want to emphasize that Europe in 1957 decided to unite its 28 countries as the European Union that is the largest trade bloc in the world. It is the world's biggest exporter of manufactured goods and services. One of the pillars of its foundation is based on free trade during its members. Among its members, the population of the European Union was living in 20 republics and 6 monarchies. In 2020, numbered 447,206,135. Originally, the founding members decided to never again have blade wars between the neighbors that happened in World War II. This union enables any person in the European Union to travel free without borders, to live anywhere with equal citizenship rights to work, retire, and pay taxes as one country.
And now we shall see Paris with the river, La Seine. We see the beautiful city of Venice and the London Bridge with the Thames River.
Thames.
Also, here is a snapshot of the mountains between Switzerland and Italy.